All right, both of the knock washers have been installed now. I've got a new bypass hose here that I bought, along with a couple of adjustable clamps for this. The wiring harness is positioned. It's not connected yet, but it connects right here. Let's see, I don't know if I mentioned it, but to get the old gaskets off, you have to take this housing off here, this coolant housing. And to do that, there is two nuts right here. These are 12 millimeter nuts. And then you will have to take 3 bolts out of this stabilizer here. One of them is right here. I don't have the bolt right now, but once you loosen that, as well as these two 14 millimeter bolts, you can just lift it up, and then you can lift your housing off, get your old gaskets out, and then you do the same in reverse to put the new ones in. These are new gaskets here. So I'm going to take the paper towels out, probably shop vac and the porch there one more time. As far as here's a look at the degreased manifold. It's going to be going in place there. As far as the bolts go, I need to put the bolts back in this order here. And as far as tightening the bolts, intake manifold bolts, so I can get a focus on this. Intake manifold bolts, nuts, 132 inch-pounds, so that's going to be like 11 foot-pounds. Then the intake plenum bolts, 32 foot-pounds, and then those plenum brace bolts, that's 168 inch-pounds. So we just put the injector rail back now. That's not in place yet. It will be mounted right here with this bolt here. And then I have 4 of these gold bolts with washers. So I'm going to go ahead and put those bolts in. Just drop. Okay, putting the bolts back into the injector rail here. We had those spacers here, these, and they're both they're the same on both ends. So I've just dropped them in position here. I found it to be probably easier than, and then put the bolts on top of those or run them through. So I've got these two. So let's see if we can line them up. Okay, what about here? Okay. And then I've got a mounting bolt, or right here's the mounting bolt. Put that in here. get that started. Alright, I'm not sure what these are. I think they're 10 or 12. I'm gonna make sure everything is seated before we start tightening them down. Alright, I'm gonna grab my wrench now. Same on the back here. Gas line was never, we just pulled it over, so the gas line was never disconnected. So it's still connected here. We're getting ready to put the plenum on, so just degreasing one more time. That'd be a good time to look down in the porch and make sure nothing was dropped. There's no paper towels in there. Got a new gasket for this. Follow me as I... Alright, so we're going to put the plenum on, and we're just kind of eyeballing how we're going to have to position it, especially around the EGR valve here. But also getting an idea of the connectors we're going to have to use, or I should say where the bolts in the back go. The bigger bolt here was a brace bolt, goes through that hole right there. We've got that bolt handy here. This right here is going to be this ground wire here. That's what we'll be putting on first. We've got another ground here that goes on the side of the plenum right here. It's a little PVC plug here. It's going to be going in right here. The diaphragm here has a little plug. Where's that wire at? Diaphragm wire is right here. So we're going to grab the bolt, the back ground bolt, and go ahead and connect that. Okay, trying to get the plenum positioned here. We could get it off with the throttle plate on, but we decided to take the throttle plate off. It was really difficult to maneuver around with the throttle plate on. So throttle plate just held on with 2 nuts, bottom of the plate, 2 bolts at the top. Now we're going to have to go get this washer or this gasket here for that, but we can get the plenum on a lot easier. So we've just laid it in place here. It's still not on the mounting bolts. We had to lay it like this so I can get the ground bolt on the back here. So I've got that in place. Next thing we're going to do is to get the brace. Here's the side ground, that'll go right here. But yeah, we're going to try to get that brace bolt in position. All right, we've got the plenum brace screwed all the way in, the brace bolt all the way in. That stabilizes plenum. We haven't tightened it yet. You can see it's still flopping around, so we're going to put the two two washers. There's two washers on the side. One over here, and then there's two plenum bolts that go right here. And we're going to tighten, since we've got the brace bolt already in, we're going to go ahead and tighten the plenum down to the specs, the torque specs. That is, I believe, 32 foot-pounds. I just want to grab the nut. What is it, 12, right? Just giving another look over here before we start it up for the first time. Make sure all the hoses have been pushed on as far as we can push them on, and put the clamps back on those where they should go. I was looking right here, and we didn't do anything here, but this wiring harness I think should be clipping on here, but it's not something that we messed with. Yeah, we're making sure everything was plugged in good. I think we're good to go here. Let's put this harness on. Put antifreeze in the radiator. Batteries back on. So let's give it a start up for the first time.